Welcome to Python Labs. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up Python programming in Microsoft Visual Studio Code environment in 5 simple steps. So the first step is to download Python, and the place you can download is python.org/downloads. Download the latest version at the time of recording. The version I am using is 3.11.2, either for Windows, Linux, or Mac, or whichever operating system you're using. Once you download, the system will show you an exe file. I'm using Windows operating system. So in my case, the exe file after downloading looks like this. And all you need to do is click install now, and it will smoothly install. I'm not going to install one more time because I have already installed it. So the second step is to download the Visual Studio Code environment, and the website to download is code.visualstudio.com, which is this one. So download whichever again operating system you are using, the latest version. So I'm going to I will be using the Windows operating system throughout my video sessions. And I strongly recommend, especially for those who are using, say, for example, they're using Jupyter Notebook or any other platform. I strongly recommend using the Visual Studio Code for a number of reasons. One of the most important reason is it has a lot of intelligence, so it will make your programming super enjoyable. I will explain to you that in a minute. And once you have downloaded this, you will see that there is an exe file. All you need to do is just double click on the exe file. I have to close this one to show you again. All you need to do is just accept the terms and conditions, and then go through the next and click finish, and it will install you smoothly. So once you have installed both Python and then Visual Studio Code, the third step that is needed is to add some mandatory extensions in order to support Python programming. There are two ways to do this. The first step is you can go through my marketplace.visualstudio.com website, which is this website here. For example, go through this website, and then you can search here for the extensions that you want. For example, Python. Python. Once I click Python, you see, I get the extension list of all the recommended extensions. The first one, which is from Microsoft, if I click on it, it will say install. I can click install, and then it says open Visual Studio. Once you click open Visual Studio, it will show you here the extension that we are trying to install. So it's loading, and then you just need to click here install. In my case, I have already installed. That's why it is showing me uninstall. So in your case, when you're installing for the very first time, you will see install. So I have also got a screenshot here just to show you. This is how you will see install. Now, as I told you, there are two ways to install extensions. One is through the website. The other one is directly inside the Visual Studio itself. And the place you need to go is from extensions. Once you open up Visual Studio, you see I'm going to close and I'm going to open again. Visual Studio extension, Visual Studio Code. Once I click Visual Studio Code, I can go through this extension icon. Once I click on extension icon, and then I can search for the extension I am going to install. Python, for instance, click enter, and it is searching for the extension, and that's the extension. So because I have already installed, that's why it is showing the icon as uninstalled. In your case, it will show you as installed. So this is how you need to install all the mandatory and the recommended extensions. And I strongly recommend you to install the following 5. This is how you install. You see here Python, and then you click on the icon and then click install. These are the 5 highly recommended extensions. Now, what are they? First of all, Python. This is the mandatory. This basically is an extension from Microsoft for programming in Python. And the second one is it's basically also from Microsoft for feature-rich language support in Python. And the third one, this is an amazing pack. It's a collection of extensions which can add a lot of AI intelligence, code formatting, code snippets, beautiful syntax, etc. This will make life so easy, especially with when you're programming in Python. And the next one I strongly recommend you to install is the Excel viewer. Now, the Excel viewer is basically, say, for example, you have the data in Excel files or CSV files and so on. You want to view the file in Visual Studio Code, then it will not show you as an Excel data table. Rather, it would show you as a text. So, in order to avoid that, we can use the Excel viewer. I will show you all this, how to install and so on. And the last one is called the Tab 9 AI Autocomplete. Amazing, amazing extension. This will help you write the code. Like you just type, as soon as you type, it will understand what you're trying to write, and it will help you to finish writing the rest of the code. So these are the five extensions. Say for instance, the first one is Python, the followed by Pylance. So I searched for Pylance. That's also from Microsoft. And the next one is called Python Extension Pack. So Python Extension Pack, which is this one. It's a collection of beautiful extensions, and it has been, you see, there's so many people using it. So there is all very amazing extensions. Just download this latest version again. And the next one is Excel Viewer. Again, Excel Viewer. So which is this one, to display the data in the form of tables within the Microsoft Visual Studio Code. So you just need to, you see here, this is how you can see the data instead of text files. And the last one is called Tab 9 AI Autocomplete. AI Autocomplete. This is another amazing AI tool, extension, sorry. As soon as you type, it will help you to write rest of the code. Amazing, amazing extension. Now, once you have installed all these extensions, the first thing what we are going to do is, let me go back again, Python, how to install extensions. Yeah, I have shown you that one. Now, how to run and use the Visual Studio. Now, let me open up Visual Studio environment. So assume that I have already installed all the extensions. The first thing we need to do is click here, explore. This is the place where you will be seeing all the files. Now, first things first, what we need to do is we need to create a folder before you even start programming in Visual Studio environment. Now, for instance, for the purpose of this video, I will try to create a new folder called test project 1. Okay, so test project 1, this is the location. I want to create my project, file, open folder. So, it is Python test project 1, select. Now, this is the folder that I have selected. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new file in this Yes, I Trust. So in the Explorer, I'm going to see all the files that are there. Right now, we don't have any files because it's an empty folder. Now, there are two ways to create the files. You can either create plus icon here with one file, or you can even click here. So I'll go with the standard one, say plus icon. I click, say for example, my first page dot py. Py stands for Python. And then I click enter. So this is the first page that we are seeing, and you can also see that that page is created in our folder, the folder that we created. Okay. So now, for instance, I'm going to write some Python code. Say print, open brackets. Say for example, hello world. You see, as I'm typing, you can see that it's already recommending. This is the IntelliSense. So I click tab. Once I click tab, I can basically enter. Say, for example, I'm going to write x equals to 1, y equals to 2. You see how it is recommending me? Z equals to x plus y. Now, as soon as I see that IntelliSense is telling me, is that what you're trying to write? I say yes. Then I just have to click tab. Once I click tab, the rest of the code is auto-completed. Now, for example, I want to say print, I want to say Z, like close bracket. So let's try to run this one now. How to run in Visual Studio Code? Visual Studio Code has a lot of benefits. Now, one of the benefits is you can even do debugging as well as you can run the code. Now, to run the code straightforward, you can just click here. You see here on the right side, run icon, or you can even press F5. F5. If you click F5, it will ask me Python file. Yes, that's the Python file I'm trying to run. And then it will show me in the terminal that it's trying to load and it's trying to run. Hello world. And then it came into the breakpoints because I have put the breakpoints. I'm going to remove the breakpoints for now. I'll just click F5 again. It will finish the remaining. You see here, hello world, X is 1, Y is 2, Z is 1 plus 2, that is 3. Welcome. This is a successful, a simple project that we have created. So now that we know how to write Python code and how to create our file, let me show you. So this is basically how to run and debug. I will show you how to run is basically you can click here, F5. It will show you the results. Or sometimes what happens, I want to debug, find out if there are any errors and so on. In that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the breakpoints like this by clicking wherever I want to put. Okay. So, and then I'm going to press here the same thing, or I can press F5, or I can click here, debug Python file. So I will click debug Python file, for example. When I click debug Python file, you see here, it has come to this point. Now what you can do is you can even point your mouse cursor. See here on top of X, it is showing me what the X value is holding, Y, 1. Now Y, and then I click F5 again, then it is going to the next breakpoint. So I can mouse point here, it's showing me 2. Now there are two ways. One is F5 or F10. F10 will take me step by step. I recommend F10 as well if you want to do the debugging line by line. So now here, even before printing, you see before running the code, I can see what is hidden or what is stored in Z. The Z value is 3. So I will click again F10. Now it will show me the results and it has successfully completed. So this is the way to debug or to run. If you want to directly run, you can directly run from here, run Python file. If you want to debug and do some detailed step-by-step code analysis, you can do by putting the breakpoints. So this is how to run and debug in Visual Studio Code. Now, the next thing we need to be aware of is something called Python packages, especially if you're doing the data science and analytics. You really need a lot of packages. I will explain to you all these packages as I go through in my coming videos. But for now, do understand that these are the minimum packages that are needed in order to do a successful data science and analytics projects in Python. First, before you even install these packages, first we can even find out what is installed in the in our computer already. So the way you do is pip list, and you need to write this pip list in the terminal. Where you write it is here in the terminal. You can just write pip list, and it will show me all the currently installed. You see, all of these are the installed packages. I have already installed all these. And the recommended packages are basically pip install numpy, matplotlib, pandas, scipy, scikit, and also nltk and cbon. These are basically some of the most important packages. So what you need to do is just go through this list, what is installed. If anything is not installed, for instance, say for example numpy is not installed, then all you need to do is you just come here, pip install numpy. You see here the same I have already written here you all the commands. Pip install numpy and then hit enter. Once you hit enter, in my case, I have already satisfied because I have already installed. Now, you might be wondering where to get these command prompts. Where can I find these command prompts, right? Now, for that, there is a very nice website. You just copy this pyp.org. You see here, for example, if I go to this web link, for example, I want to install matplotlib. I just click enter. Then it will show me the command here, pip install matplotlib. That stands for library. So the same thing again, I can search for all the recommended libraries. For example, numpy. If I want to install numpy, but I don't know what is the command, just enter numpy and click here, pip install numpy. That is basically the command that you need to write. So it's pretty straightforward. You just have to come here and try to install, find out all the command prompts for whichever packages you are trying to install. But I can tell you from a standard point of view, from especially for data science and analytics, all these are even machine learning and so on. These are actually more than enough. The NumPy, Matplotlib, pandas, scipy, scikit-learn, NLTK, and Seaborn. These are more than enough because NumPy is a fundamental package for n-dimensional array. Matplotlib is actually built on top of NumPy for data visualization. Pandas is for data analysis. SciPy, it is for scientific computing functionalities. Scikit-learn, it is again, if you want to perform supervised and unsupervised learning algorithms. Then NLTK, it is for NLPs, natural language processing. And Seaborn, again, if you want to generate some beautiful data visualization, then it is the Seaborn. So once you have installed successfully all these packages, the last step is basically to run the command. Okay, and I have already shown you how to run and I have how to execute. You can see in the terminal whatever the code you write here. Once you write the code and you hit execute, it will show you in the terminal. So guys, with this, pretty much you have got the environment ready. Now I'm going to give you one last bonus tip here because this is also very important, especially when you're doing with too much, experiments, research work, or even projects and so on. See, every time you're trying to run your code here, you will notice that every time, for example, if I'm trying to run one more time, this one, F5, I'm pressing F5, or you can click here. You see here, you see all these extensions are coming here, where it is storing and what it is. This is really not a good idea to have this kind of extensions. Rather, I would like to have a clean output results. And in order to do that, basically what we need to do is you can click here. You see here under this one in the run and debug, create a launch.json file. Click on create a launch.json file. It's a Python file. And here, what it will do is it will create one launch file. All you need to do is just replace this. Instead of integrated terminal, which is this one, we want to have internal console. We just convert it into the internal console. I have already shown you here. Step one, click on the create a launch.json file. Step two, internal console. That is step two. And once you click on internal, replaced here internal console, save this file, save. And I just clicked Control S, or you can even say file save. So I'm going to close this one. Now look what's going to happen. Now if I run this code again, F5, now that it has internal console. So now you will see the results here. Let me click debug console again. It's loading. There you go. Beautiful. Hello world and the result 3. Instead of going through all those unwanted text here, you can have a clean sheet here where you can result. Now you can even debug by putting your breakpoints. And then I'm going to press F5, or you can click here. So once I press F5, you see, I also get an icons here. These are basically other ways to click. For example, if I want to step into, you can basically just step into the next step. And again, you can mouse over your cursor. It will show you what the value is holding. And then I will go again. And then I know what's the value here, Z. This is really good, especially if you're doing debugging. And then I want to print this Z value. So you have step into, which is going to be basically if there is a function, it will go even inside the function. Step over, which means it will skip and it will directly go and try to go to the next stage. And then you just continue, you can continue. In my case, I'm going to continue. I'm going to press F5. Once I press F5, I get the results. Hello world and 3. So this is basically another setup. Now with this, we have got a beautiful setup of our environment. Now, one last thing I also want to show you, as I told you that we have installed one of the packages, which was this one, Excel viewer. Now, I just wanted to show you how it looks like. For example, I'm going to save one of the files. For example, say, do I have an Excel file? Just want to, okay, I'll just show you this particular data file. Now, if I store this in my folder, paste, Now I go back to my environment. You see here, I see this file. Now this is the Excel file. Now if I click like this, you see here, now you can view the data in a tabular format simply because we have got that extension, this extension here. If this extension was not there, I will show you how it looks like. The same data file, I'll go into the extension and data viewer, I believe, data viewer. What was the name of the file extension? Excel viewer, sorry, Excel viewer. So if I, for example, I install this one, so I uninstall this one. Now the same file, if I go back to this one, if I click on this, you see here, sorry, it's still showing. It will actually show you in a text file. I'm glad that it's there, maybe because I have already added the extensions. So this is also one of the important, Excel viewer is also one of the important extension file, especially for the comma separated. Now here I have got Excel file, but in the same file, if I have, for example, the Excel, I don't have any data here, but let me just show you quickly. P, P. Now imagine that I have this comma separated file. I'm going to browse. I'm going to store this in the project that we have created now, just now. Python test project. I'm going to save here as a comma separated file. Book one, it's fine. Yes. Now I'm going to close this. Now if I open up the file here in the file book one, you see here, this is what I was trying to explain. This is showing as a comma separated file. You see, that's how it is. Now once you install that Excel viewer extension, once I go and it's already installed. So what I need to do is right click and open with. All you need to do is right click, open with, and then you select CSV editor. Now you can see the same data. When you right click like directly, it will show like this. But if you right click, open with CSV data, it will show the data like this in a nice tabular format. So guys, with this, we come to an end with the first how to set up our environment in Visual Studio Code. And with this one, the bonus tip that I have provided. So stay tuned. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how to import the data, how to clean and perform the preliminary steps as part of data science. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.